Hello everyone, I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we'll continue with the story of Future's End. This is part 6 of the series. Remember, just like the previous videos, you can find the playlist on the channel and in the video description. We are on Cadmus Island, where Lois Lane met the Earth-2 Red Tornado. Lois asks what she's doing here. Red Tornado explains that she came to this Earth seeking refuge, only to be imprisoned on this island, where there are other prisoners as well. As Lois already noticed, Red Tornado is her Earth-2 counterpart. Meanwhile, near the island, Oliver's team approaches, ready to rescue the Earth-2 prisoners. Big Barda has condemned this place and is willing to die to free her comrades. Red Arrow asks Oliver what will happen with Brother Eye's security on the island. Oliver assures him it won't be a problem. He's already prepared. Once on the island, Oliver shoots an arrow to disable Brother Eye's security. Unfortunately, it's caught and destroyed by Earth-2's Hawkgirl. Brother, I will not be stopped. Brother Eye sees everything. It seems they won't be able to disable the security, as Oliver only had one arrow. There's no time to waste, as security is already on its way. Red Arrow reminds everyone that they came to the island to save their people, not to kill them. As for the Omax, they can eliminate them without issue. Oliver tells Big Barda they'll have to deal with Brother Eye manually, with her brute strength. The two of them, along with Red Arrow, set out to find a switch to turn off Brother Eye. Emiko and the others stay behind to hold off the Omax. As Oliver's team departs, Emiko expresses her dissatisfaction with the situation. Meanwhile, the Omax begin merging to form a much larger one. Elsewhere on the island, Oliver's progress is interrupted by Deathstroke. Slade is furious that Oliver faked his death, which the mercenary finds highly offensive. Oliver asks if he now works for a machine. Slade replies that this machine has access to all the Earth's accounts, including Oliver's. Before Slade can start a fight, Fury arrives from behind and decapitates him. This shocking move catches everyone off guard. Fury didn't come alone. Scott Free is with her. Big Barda runs to reunite with her beloved. She tells Scott she never thought she'd see him again. Scott replies that he thought the same about her. Fury interrupts, telling them to move on, and warns that if such a betrayal happens again, she won't live to regret it. Barda tells Fury this has nothing to do with her. Scott calms them, reminding them they have bigger problems to address. Scott has been on this island for a long time. If they want to shut down Brother Eye, he can guide them. He knows the place like the back of his hand. Once inside the facility, Red Arrow finds the place odd. Cadmus was supposed to have many regular workers, but they're missing. Oliver asks if Red Arrow is disappointed by how easy this has been so far. As they progress, they encounter a security door. Big Barda uses her strength to break it down, but is hit by a powerful blast. The blow comes from Power Girl, who has been assimilated by Brother Eye. The Eye cannot be compromised. The Eye is inevitable. Power Girl grabs Fury and lands some heavy blows. Big Barda must join the fight to save her comrade. She tells Green Arrow to do whatever it takes to stop Brother Eye, as time is running out. Oliver explains it's not as easy as she thinks. He fires an arrow with a glove at a button. Everyone questions whether his action is serious. Those under Brother Eye's control begin to suffer, but for some reason, the system remains operational. Barda tells Scott to take Fury and leave the island. She'll handle Power Girl. Big Barda tries to end the fight, but only reveals Power Girl's cyborg side. Who better than Brother Eye to house its intellect within a nearly indestructible host? Outside the facility, Red Tornado tells Lois Lane that they need to leave. Lois hesitates, saying she doesn't want to abandon her counterpart. Red Tornado insists that the other Lois is already lost. One of them must survive to tell the story. With no other choice, Lois agrees and retreats. Outside the facility, the other Earth-2 members are regaining consciousness. Lois and Green Arrow are running to escape the island. Inside, Big Barda continues holding off Power Girl. Brother Eye has nowhere left to run. As the teams make their way off the island, they witness a massive explosion from a distance. With that, they believe Brother Eye has been destroyed. Lois Lane vows to write a story about the events. People need to know about the atrocities committed on the island. Green Arrow couldn't save everyone. some victims couldn't survive Brother Eye's cruelty. While everyone believes the nightmare is over, the symbol of Brother Eye quietly appears on Lois Lane's phone. Time has passed, and Lois speaks to the press. Usually, she lets her stories speak for themselves, but this time, she felt it necessary to address the public directly. The Cadmus facility, she explains, was a cover for a superhuman concentration camp. Earth, 2 refugees were abducted, and horrific experiments were conducted on them. She reveals that Green Arrow remains anonymous, but she plans to provide evidence of the alleged death of Oliver Queen. Red Arrow and his team were responsible for freeing the Earth, 2 prisoners. Tragically, not everyone made it out alive. Power Girl, Big Barda, Red Tornado, and others perished in the battle. Although Cadmus Island was destroyed, the International Corporation remains active. Lois promises to stop at nothing to bring them to justice. In New York, after his confrontation with Bruce Wayne, Plastique asks Terry why he doesn't seek Batman's help. Batman might be able to stop Brother Eye. Terry explains that in the future, Batman warned him not to reach out. If he did, Batman would do everything in his power to prevent Terry from altering the timeline. Elsewhere in New York, a man laments that he was on the verge of bringing his teleportation system to the masses, but Firestorm and the Justice League thwarted his plans. Firestorm sabotaged his device, and the League wanted him dead. His transporter relied on magnetic fields, and now he exists within one. While he can't physically manifest himself, he has adapted to his new form. The Justice League failed to destroy him. They only sowed the seeds of their own destruction. Back with the Batman of the future, Terry watches Lois's press conference where she claims Brother Eye was destroyed. Terry, however, has been searching for traces of its programming and has found nothing so far. Alfred insists it's impossible for Brother Eye to be gone. Terry and Plastique are living proof from the future that it survives. At Lois's office, her phone, plugged into a power source, inadvertently allows Brother Eye to resurface into the world. While Plastique and Batman continue their conversation, Brother Eye takes control of the future cyborg Plastique, gaining a physical form once again. Elsewhere, the new Firestorm is experimenting with her powers. Madison confesses she doesn't enjoy having abilities. Jason suggests they visit the university. Dr. Yamazaki's lab might still have data from the accident that fused them together. Flying through the air, Tim spots Madison and can't believe what he's seeing. They arrive at the lab, which was destroyed in the explosion that created them. As they search through the records, Madison reflects on the trauma the place holds for her. She describes Dr. Yamazaki as a lunatic who caused her immense pain. Suddenly, a voice interrupts, accusing Madison of being the lunatic for trying to kill him. Dr. Polaris has arrived, ready to take revenge on those who ruined his plans. The doctor asks Jason if he really thought he had died in that explosion when Jason sabotaged his transporter and caused the destruction of his lab. He didn't die. Quite the opposite happened. It gave him life as Dr. Polaris. The combination of the explosion, the magnetic field that powered his transporter, and the rising energy turned him into something more than human. At this point, he is part of the magnetic field connected to it. The extent of his power has no limits. He might think Jason should thank him, but that's not going to happen in any way. Dr. Polaris attacks the new Firestorm. Jason knows she's new at this, but if she doesn't fight back, they're both going to die. Madison gets hit and falls to the ground. Jason urges her to get up. This is really dangerous. Professor Yamazaki hates Firestorm, and if they don't do something, they're as good as dead. The problem here is that Madison has never been in a fight before and has no idea what to do. Moreover, she's had these powers for such a short time that she doesn't even know how to use them. Jason tells her she'll have to learn to fly, so to speak. For Madison, this battle feels like a child stepping into the ring to face a heavyweight champion. Jason acknowledges this, but they don't have another option. Right now, she has incredible power at her fingertips. She needs to try shooting. Dr. Polaris has never heard of a female Firestorm. Based on his deductions, there must be more than one of them. Given how the Justice League has lied to the public about so many things, this wouldn't come as a surprise. Madison's first attack misses its target. She'd rather run away and call the police, which is what she'd do if an annoying guy were around. Jason tells her she can reorganize the atomic structure of anything. There's no need to run when she has these powers. Dr. Polaris throws a truck at them. Jason tells her to visualize something soft, like a feather. Madison focuses and transforms the truck into a giant bear. Still, with the size of that thing, the impact is going to hurt. For Dr. Polaris, this is bizarre. He expected more from a Justice League member. Elsewhere in New York, Alfred tells Terry that he's detected an anomaly. It's likely Brother Eye is nearby, on 23rd Street and 5th Avenue, precisely at Terrific Industries. The signature is unmistakable, which means Brother Eye is still alive, just as they had anticipated earlier. But things don't end here. Alfred detects another anomaly. This time, someone is attacking Alfred's systems. The one responsible for this attack is none other than Batman, who has been tracking them from afar. Alfred informs Terry they're in danger. Someone has found them. Alfred disconnects, but Batman had already breached the system. Meanwhile, in the future, Brother Eye tells Mr. Terrific that the time has come. The past awaits his arrival. Brother Eye has recreated a temporal band previously created by Mr. Terrific. With it, they'll be able to follow the trail left by Terry and pursue him into the past to eliminate him. The one tasked with ending this threat is the fusion of Batman and the Joker. Batman refuses to be the one to stop him, but the Joker, on the other hand, is eager to take him down. Regardless, it doesn't matter whether they want to do it or not. Resistance is futile against Brother Eye. Mr. Terrific tells Batman never to forget who Batman is. The Bat asks what he is now. As he says this, he's transported to the past. Brother Eye is confident that this will make the past what it's supposed to be. Terrific asks how sure he is about that. Brother Eye knows because, at this moment, he still exists. We jump back in time. Plastique is calmly walking through the streets when suddenly Batman and the Joker appear in front of her. In Madison and Dr. Polaris' battle, Jason tells Madison to get up. Once the Doctor realizes they're not dead, he'll come back to finish them off. Madison asks, "What about this bear?" Jason says it was an anteater, but that she reconfigured its structure to make it softer. This was a pure, instant reaction from her, without considering the mass's size. Something is approaching, and Jason tells her to fly immediately. Dr. Polaris is back, and from what he's heard, Firestorm has the ability to alter the atomic structure of objects. This is undoubtedly a fascinating talent, and it should prove to be very interesting. Jason tells Madison that she can't just run, she also needs to defend herself. Madison asks if he wants her to turn Dr. Polaris into a frog or something. Jason replies that it could work, but she can't alter organic matter. If that's the case, she'll blow him up then. Being inexperienced, Madison's attack ends up hurting people below. Tim Drake happens to be nearby and rushes to help the civilians. The attack was good, but it didn't pack the punch it needed. Madison is shocked that the Doctor is still standing, as if nothing happened. She suggests calling the Justice League. Jason refuses, saying it's up to them. Both Dr. Polaris and Firestorm are new to their powers. The difference is that Jason can guide her to make the most of hers. Dr. Polaris realizes he might not need a massive attack to defeat his enemy. Instead, he hurls a small piece of metal, which hits Jason square in the chest. From afar, Tim Drake sees Firestorm fall. He can't understand how this is possible, since Ronnie is dead. Tim doesn't know who this Firestorm is, but it's clear they're on the wrong side. Tim grabs a pipe and strikes them hard from behind. Of course, the blow doesn't do any real damage. If Tim is trying to protect her, then he's part of this too. Tim takes a heavy hit and is sent flying. Furious, Madison launches a powerful attack at Dr. Polaris. The impact is so strong it destroys the Doctor's armor. To everyone's surprise, no one is inside. The big question now is, what has Dr. Polaris become? Tim Drake is thrown by the impact, but Madison catches him midair and safely sets him down. Elsewhere, we return to Plastique. The Joker wonders what he's looking at. Maybe it's a Zagnut? Plastique, impressed, hands over her snack. To the Joker, this is adorable. On a rooftop, Terry tries to contact Alfred. He feels lost without him. Suddenly, a small explosion catches his eye. Plastique is running toward him, pursued by the fusion of Batman and the Joker. Terry urges her to hold on, but things get worse when they encounter this timeline's Batman. Desperately, Plastique calls for help. Terry can't believe what he's seeing. Brother Eye has found its target. It's time to fight. The Joker launches missiles at Terry. Out of nowhere, someone strikes him in the chest with batarangs. The attacker is Batman, who also joins the battle. Terry manages to reach Plastique just in time and flies her away to safety. Batman asks the Joker what kind of monster he is. His surprise grows when the Joker's head swivels, revealing Terry's future self. Batman takes 2 heavy punches from his future counterpart. While Bruce Wayne struggles with the attacks, Plastique kisses Terry. It's an odd sight. Batman being beaten by a future Batman-Joker fusion, while another Batman kisses a girl. The third and final blow knocks Batman down. As he lies on the ground, the Joker points a gun at his head. The cyborg Batman urges the Joker to kill him, but the Joker refuses. Killing Batman would be foolish. Doing so would mean less fun in this timeline. There are far more entertaining possibilities. Elsewhere, Terry and Plastique reflect on how terrifying the encounter was. She recalls how Terry said Brother Eye had killed Batman. Terry admits he must have been wrong. Brother Eye must have found him and done something worse to his body. Plastique feels useless for not being able to fight and needing Terry to save her. She calls herself a loser, but Terry disagrees. Plastique still believes Cyborg Batman turned her into a loser. She wonders why her cyborg version is even here. She was supposed to kill him, but instead, she ended up shoved into a shopping cart and dumped in a morgue lab. Terry explains that the only reason her cyborg version didn't finish her off is that part of her got stuck in the past when the portal closed. Terry admits this is the weirdest conversation he's ever had. Worst of all, Alfred is offline, leaving him blind. They have no choice but to seek help from someone they previously tried to recruit. They need help not only against Brother Eye, but also to avoid Batman. Tim Drake is the perfect candidate for both. They can only hope he returns to his usual hangout. Otherwise, they'll have to come up with another idea. Terry asks Plastique if that's her hand touching him. Plastique says it doesn't matter if the future is doomed. Life's too short to waste. Even in wartime, they should take a chance. Meanwhile, from another building, Batman observes the entire scene. At the Justice League Omega Defense Station, Superman arrives at the base. Stormguard asks why he didn't use the transporter like everyone else. Superman explains it's simple. First, flying is fun. Second, he has an image to maintain. Stormguard challenges him, asking who he really is. Superman's true identity was recently revealed. He shouldn't still wear the S on his chest. Superman responds that the symbol inspires people. Everyone knows it stands for greatness and sacrifice. The symbol must be seen and remembered. Stormguard agrees, especially about the sacrifice. Superman asks if that means he often thinks about Kal-El. Stormguard says no. He barely met him before he disappeared. But Stormguard has seen countless men and women pay a higher price for their country than Superman ever has. Stormguard recalls his time on the White House security team during the early days of the war. Parademons were destroying everything. The president had been advised to evacuate, but chose to stay for symbolic reasons. When a tank arrived, they held the line so the president could escape. It seemed hopeless. Just as an attack fell in their midst, they thought it was the end. But then Stormguard looked up and saw Marine One waiting for the president. But even though he was exhausted, Stormguard kept fighting. Some say that day marked a turning point in the war. Stormguard doesn't claim to know, but for him, it was crucial. Superman says he became a legend, creating a symbol he has lived by ever since. One not so different from Shazam's. Their conversation is interrupted as someone arrives at the base via transporter. It's Firestorm, who urgently needs the Justice League's help. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.